this is Pass It Back with Jacob, Miles, and Chris. I'm Miles.
I'm Jacob.
Our fellow Chris is not here. I think he's busy with work or whatnot. He has a pretty hectic schedule, so we understand where he could be. So,
I'm not understanding.
we're gonna get this. So on this episode, we're gonna do this Joker review. We recently went and saw Joker. What was that? A week ago? 2 weeks ago?
The Thursday it came out.
The first day.
I think it was like a couple weeks ago. At this point.
Yeah, man, it was really good.
It was, dude.
Shocked me completely.
Ooh. I honestly didn't know what to expect. I didn't really talk about it a whole lot before it came out, except for like the few trailers and whatnot. So it really kept everybody on their toes. And I think the best kind of movies is when you go in not knowing what to expect.
That is true.
Because like when you do that, that mystery's still there, and then you're finding everything out while it's happening, and it's just a great experience. Another thing I learned from my high school calculus teacher, shout out Miss Baker, we talked about this because she's a huge Star Wars nerd, and so when the new trio of movies was coming out. The first one that came out, I was really excited about it. I'm like, oh my God, it's Star Wars. It's going to be so good. So excited. And I go and see it, and I'm like, wow, this was thoroughly disappointing. I'm like, because my expectations were up here. Like, it was crazy. And she was just like, well, see, there's your problem. You got to go in there with low expectations. And I was like,
interesting.
Wow, okay. And so, from like now
change your whole.
From now on, I'm just going to movies with low expectations, except like the exceptions, maybe like Endgame or something, stuff that's going to be hyped up and you're going to have high expectations for. But like most movies now, I try to go in there with like a low expectation, and what do you know? The next Star Wars movie, I was like, okay, yeah, this is good.
Now, personally, for me, I ain't gonna lie, dude. I had a certain amount of expectations, not too high. But I had a certain amount of expectations, and they went above and beyond.
Oh, dude. I mean, I will say I did have some expectations. I mean, nothing too high for this movie, just because.
I was like moderate.
Yeah. But, nah, dude. Any expectations I had, through the roof, dude. It was such a good movie. If you haven't seen it yet, I
highly
totally recommend it. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, go ahead before we spoil some stuff, but click.
If you haven't seen it now, turn off your phone, go away, go see it. Go.
But if not, or if you have seen it and you want to see our take on it, well, here we go. So, man, what are some things that you learned? And it's a lot of little lessons in there, man.
Yeah, and see, that was one of my favorite parts about the movie is that, like, it could be one little scene that gives you such a powerful message, or just the entire movie itself was a message. So just throughout the entire movie, there's just so many messages. Like, just for one for example, is just like when he lets his midget friend go. I forgot his name.
Yeah, yeah, we forget it. Yeah,
when they let him go, like that just shows you that you should treat people with respect because you don't know what they're going through. Like he let him go because he's been facing criticism himself.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, they've both been talked down to, they've both just been made fun of, and he knows he can relate, and they're both nice to each other because they do have that relation.
Some level of, like,
of likeness. Because
yeah, they're not equal. Yeah, I see. Misfits. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, totally. That is the perfect word for them. And so they can relate to each other, and so since they can relate, they're nice to each other, and that just shows that you don't know what someone's going through, like this whole movie. So just try to be nice to everyone. Honestly.
Yeah, exactly, because he let that guy off and he killed his friend.
Dude, that big guy, dude.
He got it.
He took it.
Dude,
man.
But if you look back on it, dude, every person that Joker killed, he killed them because he either was made fun of or it was something that he did that they did to Joker that didn't sit right with him.
He had somewhat of a reason behind it.
Yeah.
Like even like the first killings that he did, those three guys on the train, they were making fun of him. They were beating the crap out of him. They were doing all that, and he was sick of their shit. He was sick of it. And so, and he decided to take action. His buddy gave him a gun, and he said, "I'm gonna defend myself."
Exactly, because his boss didn't believe him.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, dude, he's like, I got jumped. And the guy was like, you didn't get jumped.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants your sign.
Yeah, at the beginning, those little kids, yeah, dude.
Dang, and he got railed.
Yeah, man, dude.
God dang.
I just loved it because it was such a powerful movie. It really was, all the way through.
Yeah, what were some other lessons that we learned, man? Because it was a whole bunch of them, man. I think, for me, like, the biggest thing I took away from it, or, like, the biggest lesson, was like, dude, you can't just keep kicking the little man down and keep screwing him over and not expect him to rise up and fight back in some way.
Because my thing is obviously the movie even showed this, that he's not alone when it comes to this.
Exactly.
There's hundreds of other people, thousands, freaking, just so many people, like in cities in the U.S. and poorer countries in the entire world, that there's so many people can relate being poor, being the lower class, just being kicked around and treated unfairly. Mm-hmm. And so when that one person says, I'm going to do something about it, everyone else is like, hey, I'm going to follow that guy.
Exactly.
Let's do something about it. And then
people were doing the dirty work for him at the end.
Exactly. people get behind a movement. When people feel so strongly about something like this, people will get behind that. And power to the majority, because the numbers will always prevail, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it
Safety
to an
numbers.
extent, because like if that many people rise up and try to go after a certain group of people, that group of people is messed up. That's how empires fall. People revolt, all that other stuff. But it keeps getting harder and harder because nowadays money is power. And so that higher class, even though they might be smaller in numbers, have all the power. Mm-hmm. And so, I don't know, it's just, it did a great job at showing that there is a lot of diversity that's going on, and sometimes it's kind of going in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because, like, dude, Joker is the epitome of, like, you know how you ever just had, like, a series of things just go wrong and go wrong and go wrong and go wrong?
Murphy's Law.
Exactly. A series of things just goes wrong. Mm-hmm. But, like, for us, we don't go kill somebody. Mm-hmm. For him, he's the epitome of, like, it going bad. You turning it the evil way, the wrong way. You turning bitter. You turning angry towards people and wanting to kill them and violent and all that stuff. When, like, with us, you know, we find a way, try to turn it to a positive or try to work through it or some way. But
and there's just that threshold, and sometimes people just get pushed past that. And just the mental illness aspect of this movie, crazy. Because, like, his quote-unquote girlfriend that he had the whole time, just an illusion the entire time. It was just he was seeing her. Mm-hmm. He was just picturing her. Like, it was just in his mind. And that's what's crazy, because it kind of just lets people know that certain people might have different realities than others. Mm-hmm. And that is just a crazy thing to think about, honestly.
Man.
And something me and Ian talked about that he brought up, and I was like, wow, that's crazy, is at the end, this entire movie could have been just a figment of his imagination. Because you know how at the end, when he was in that cell talking to that lady, he could have just been telling a story.
Exactly.
Honestly. Like, I personally I hope that it all happened in that universe, because that's pretty cool.
Powerful.
But, I mean, it could all be in his imagination, because, I mean, he's imagined other stuff before. And I don't know, it's just a crazy movie, honestly. But it's so powerful. It's just, honestly, mental health is just a big problem. Mm-hmm. And there's many different ways to handle everything, and it's kind of hard to find how to get everything under control.
Mm-hmm.
Like help out certain people because everybody's different. And so if you try to like help out depression in general, my depressed could be different from yours, from somebody else's, and so it's hard to just get a general control on mental health. It's definitely like a case by case thing.
Yeah, dude, he proved that with comedy because he was like, what you find funny might not be funny to me, because like remember him killing people was funny for him, and it wasn't funny for everybody else. So it just means like everybody has their own interpretation of what they're doing, and like you can't really judge anybody off that.
Because my normal could be completely different from your normal.
Yeah,
like some of
exactly.
the stuff that I find normal, you might think strange, and vice versa. So everybody has their own personality, everybody has their own reality, and that's just a crazy concept to grasp. And it's a difficult concept to grasp because we all want to be normalized and like we all want to fit in and be similar. Like that's just how our minds work. Even if we don't want to, we want to be that outspoken person, that just person who's out there.
Unique.
Your mind subconsciously is going to be, I want to fit in. And that's like one of my theories I've like talked about with friends and everything that I quote unquote came up with. Somebody, I guarantee you somebody's already talked about it before.
Yeah.
But it's something that I've
Jacob's
never heard
theory,
of before and I just came up with is it's all has to do with people, their minds wanting to be normal. Like in their mind they want to be normal. And so let's just take a group of 8 people, and 7 of them are just getting absolutely hammered. They're just drunk as all get out, and then you just have that one sober person looking after everybody, and everything. And let's just say they're in a controlled environment, like an apartment or something. Like it'd be like if 7 people were getting drunk over here, and like you were just kind of sitting here watching everybody, just keeping control of everything and whatnot. That sober person, they sit there and their mind reads the room and they see what everybody's doing and they see how everybody's acting. Next thing you know, that person who hasn't had a single drink is going to start acting drunk because their mind sees everybody and perceives what they're doing as normal. And our minds want to be as normal as possible and fit in with everybody.
Dude, that's a good argument for like the whole clown movement.
Honestly, because like it's honestly, it's like safety in numbers, like you said, like monkey see, monkey do, all those common
quotes
and everything. It's true. They're kind of corny, but they're true because people see what other people are doing, and you want to fit in. So, not even knowing it, you're gonna start acting drunk. Like you're not even gonna try. You're just gonna start acting, and that's why sometimes you'll see people like, "Oh, you haven't even had anything to drink. Why are you acting like this?" It's just your mind's working to be normal, and so it's crazy. And I've seen it happen before. I've seen it happen multiple times. So that's why I kind of started noticing this. I'm like, that's crazy. The mind is a crazy thing.
Exactly, man. So then we'll get to Joaquin Phoenix, man.
Phenomenal.
Dude, he had that laugh down to a T.
He's a great actor. Perfect for the role.
Perfect.
Like he couldn't have played it any better. Like if he doesn't win an Oscar, I'm gonna be upset, dude. Because he put so much work into that. He lost so much weight for that role. That's insane. Because I remember you and Chris freaking out and talking about him taking his shirt off. And
every time.
Because I mean, it was not gonna lie, gross to look at. He was so skinny and sickly. It was you just like wanted to look away, but you couldn't because it was just that kind of gross that you just kind of want to see. But it's just like
exactly. Yeah, man. But oh my God, man. It's crazy. Like his preparation had to be crazy for that.
I can't even imagine. Because like you said, that laugh, his dancing, his movements,
expression,
facial expressions, like when he's like trying to make himself smile and a tear's running down his face, like that is crazy.
That hits home, bro.
Yeah.
That's like a metaphor for life, like kind of like in a way.
Like
everybody, you try to
You put on a front for people.
Yeah.
Like on the inside, you could be straight up dying,
Exactly.
and then on the outside,
you
just put on that smile, man. And that's kind of what the Joker represents. Just the character itself
makes pain.
Is that smiling through the pain, honestly, and it kind of goes back to where you need that community and that support system.
Because he did not have that.
You can't do that on his own. I mean, he lost his mother.
He found that was a whole lie.
I mean, his mother was lying to him. It's like he doesn't know who his father is.
Yeah, he was adopted.
I mean, yeah, that's just crazy. The whole thing. He had nobody, and like I said, that support system, like you need that, and without that, that's when you can go insane and go past that threshold, and then that's when psychopaths happen.
Yeah, that's exactly the recipe for what happened to Joker.
It's crazy, like where you try to make things okay even though they're not, and when you do that for too long, that's when everything goes downhill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That is crazy, man. What else haven't we touched on? Dude, the climax in the movie. The climax of the movie. Whenever he was on the radio, that little show.
And I just think every step towards it, you can just kind of see where it all happens and where it all fits. Like, he's just a normal guy trying to make it through, and he's just very bottom of the food chain. Like, he's just at the bottom, and he's just a guy trying to make it. And then everything's happening, and then he kills those first three guys, and then you kind of see he gets a taste for it, and he's like, this is kind of interesting. And he kind of just slowly but surely makes his way just to full insanity. And you can just see it throughout the entire film, and it was beautifully done. Beautifully done. Like, not even just like the acting, the directing was phenomenal, the camera angles, just editing, everything.
Yeah, everything. That movie as a whole was
just
great.
A beautiful movie. And honestly, just like I said, keep saying, like, you can just see where everything kind of goes down. And you can see on that staircase when he's dancing around, like,
that was the transition.
Going to the TV show.
He accepted the full insanity that
you're right. He accepts it. Like, right there, that's where he just lets go, and he's like, this is who I am now. And I even looked at an interview with Joaquin Phoenix, and he was even saying that's the moment where he truly becomes Joker. Just right there, he's like, I'm free. Honestly, I feel like that's why he finds it funny to, like, kill people, because he sees it as a way to
cope.
And, like, he honestly...
Wow. That's a whole nother lesson right there.
Dude, like, different ways to cope. There's awful ones like that. Like...
People do drugs, alcohol.
Coping with pain, man. That's a huge thing. But...
yeah, back to the climax. We can go like off on that.
It's just... It was a crazy thing to watch. And then going to the TV show, and then everything going down, him rehearsing his little joke. And then... he
coming on with the whole makeup and stuff. I'm like, hey. Dude.
When he finally just straight up shot Robert De Niro, I mean, everybody in that theater was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I actually stood up. I stood up.
Didn't even say a word, nothing, just... I'm like, dude. It was a crazy thing. Like, powerful movie, beautiful movie. 10 out of 10.
Exactly, man. Y'all might get different lessons than we got, but you're going to get something. You're going to come away with something.
Oh, yeah. And that's another thing. It's just people perceive stuff differently as well. Like, I could see some stuff that maybe you couldn't see in the movie, and then vice versa. Other people could maybe get something else out of it. There's just a lot of different stuff you could learn from that movie. And that was...
I know that makes you kind of like want to go back and watch it again and find a different lesson or something.
I guarantee you could. You could. Every time you watch it. I can't get over it. It was a great movie. I honestly might go back and watch it.
Yeah, maybe. Man. Especially how cheap the tickets were.
Oh, dude.
But, dude, I got an interesting thing for you, dude. Okay, you're Joker, right?
Okay.
or you're in his shoes,
Okay.
out of all the people he killed, would you have killed all 5 people, or would you have killed just a few, or would you have not killed any if you were in his shoes, going through what he was going through,
If I
dealing
was
with
in
what
his
he was dealing with?
shoes, definitely those first three guys. They're gone. Beating the crap out of me. I'm not taking that. I'm like him. And then who's the next person? Was it?
I think it was the fat guy. His mom. Was
No,
six
I
of
was
them.
about to say. I think it was his mom. And so, yeah, honestly, if I was in his shoes and learned everything that he did, find out, like, honestly, I think she's a goner.
Mm-hmm.
That fat guy, probably, just because, once again, the way he treated him, like, it's
Yeah,
just,
and he came over he was just trying to save his own ass.
no, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
he came over and he wasn't worried about him at all. He's just like, oh, that gun's like register my name, blah 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 blah. And all he was worried about himself.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he was worried about. And then Robert De Niro. I guess just because making fun of him on national TV, just straight up blowing him out of the water, saying like he's not funny, like you're kind of bad, and just putting him down. And that is such a sad thing. Is when people are like down and like they're just at a low point. Most of the time, other people are just gonna keep pushing them down.
Yeah, you
pushing
kick
them down. And that's when, and that happened so many times in the movie. Did you notice that where he'd be down on the ground and people were just kicking him, kick a man while he's down? Happens so many times in the movie, and it just shows that when people are down, there's going to be plenty of other sick people in this world that are just going to keep kicking you down. You might try to fight your way up and better yourself and be a better person, which I honestly think he was at first. But when he finally just couldn't do that anymore, just 180 and just said, if I can't better myself, then screw it. And that's when he kind of goes off. And so, yeah, I think honestly everybody he kills, right there.
I know for sure them three people are gone. Because, like, dude, what was going to happen was they were going to probably rape that girl. And they're going to beat the shit out of him. Maybe even kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, in a way, he had no other choice, in a way.
And see, my thing is, in that case, like, nobody's going to believe someone like that. Like, because honestly, he was just defending himself. Like, he has every right to defend himself. And he was also saving that girl, honestly. So he was defending himself and that other girl, which honestly, if that goes to court, he might be able to win that. But in that case, when it's just his words versus 3 dead guys, who's gonna believe him? Especially someone like that, where it's like a person who's at a low point and like no money, no nothing, no power. He probably couldn't have he definitely couldn't afford an attorney, a good one. He provided one. He ain't gonna win that. He ain't gonna win just because of who he is, and that's what's so sad.
Mm-hmm. So I think definitely the 3 people I would have killed. I ain't gonna lie. I would let his mom go. I wouldn't have.
That's fair.
I wouldn't have like dealt with her anymore after that. But I would let her go. I would just let her like just chill in hospital.
She might have been on her deathbed anyways.
Anyway, yeah. Let's see, and then fat guy. That's a tough one, man. Cause like, I think he might snitch.
That's true.
And he knows where Joker lives, so it's just like.
I mean, honestly,
it's kind of like you had to kill him too.
But the thing is he's kind of been planning this, and at the end, anyways, he was gonna out himself, anyways. So, honestly, him snitching wouldn't have been a big deal, anyways. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Because his plan the entire time was be like, yeah, I killed those guys, I did this, and then he makes you think he's gonna kill himself, but instead he shoots Robert De Niro, which. I mean, either way, he was going to out himself and then either kill himself or, make even more chaos, shooting him on live national television. So it doesn't really matter if someone snitched or not. But I see what you're saying because, honestly, him maybe beat the crap out of him, let him go. Like, maybe it was a little harsh to kill him, especially in that way. That was freaking gory.
That was a gory scene.
But, I don't know.
But who was the last one? Robert De Niro.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have killed Robert, but I would have made him look stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely would
That's
have made
fair.
him. I would have made him look stupid.
That's fair.
I would have did the joke
Mm-hmm.
like he practiced.
Mm-hmm.
I would have did the joke. What was that quote? I hope my death makes more sense than my life.
Something around there. It's just like, yeah, I hope my death makes more sense than my life, and sense as in like money.
Money. That's
Which
powerful.
that is powerful. That's a crazy thing to think of.
Yeah, just by itself.
Yeah.
What do you think about, you know, what was the guy, the big wealthy guy, Harvey? What was his? Not the guy.
Are you talking about like Batman's dad?
Yeah,
Thomas Wayne.
yeah. I'm tripping. Wayne. Yeah. What do you think about him?
Dead. No, but I mean,
Yeah, but
honestly,
like,
it's just
I'm confused because like in a way, we didn't get a chance to see him try to implement like helping the poverty. He said he was, but we didn't see him do it. So is it like a good reason to kill him anyway? Give him or would you give him a chance? Or what do you think is about his whole character?
honestly, a lot of politicians say stuff and then they don't act on it. They just say it to get votes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm not saying all politicians are corrupt or and everything, but a lot of that, they're in it for the money. Like, what they're going to do, they're going to either do what keeps them in office or what gets the most money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not going to do something that jeopardizes their votes. Like if someone's in like a Republican county and he's working for that county, he's not going to do something in favor of the Democrats because then that Republican county he's not going to be there anymore.
Exactly.
And then vice versa, Democrat to some Republican out. So they're not going to do something that jeopardizes their votes, and they're going to do something that makes the most money.
Mm-hmm.
And so honestly, he said he was going to implement something to help the poor, and he's trying to help them out. But if I remember correctly, it was just something with the way he was doing everything that I just kind of felt like I think he might just be talking.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. His whole character was very interesting. Very, very, I guess, just I don't know. He was kind of out there.
Yeah.
It was an
I
interesting.
wish.
Character.
I just wish. And this is the last thing about the Joker review. Like, I just wish Joker would have killed him.
Yeah, that would have been fair. But I mean, I guess it's just not about him getting revenge, more about him
His effect.
starting a revolution.
Yeah, his effect on other
His
people.
his effect on other people, because that guy obviously had similar thoughts about Thomas Wayne. Like he's just a crook and a corrupt man, and so he went. That random guy went there and took his life,
Mm-hmm.
and so obviously he's not the only one who felt that way. And what he did just have a ripple effect on all those people who followed him.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, just like you said, it was just his effect on other people. Like that's kind of what that was showing, and I kind of liked it. But I mean, him getting his revenge would have been pretty cool as well. But,
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the way they did things.
Yeah. Then it ended well, man. I liked it. Him putting the final touches. That was very good movie. Overall, we recommend it. Highly recommend it.
Highly recommend it.
If you haven't watched it, let us know if you want us to do some more movie reviews.
Yeah.
There's some new movies coming up that we'll probably go out and see, and we'll do a one crew Chris this next time if it's the schedule allows it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, man.
Yeah. I mean, just let us know what you think. Have any comments? Want anything to add? Want to just debate something with us? Just
Let us know in the let us know in the comments, man. Well, so this is Pass It Back. I'm Miles.
I'm Jacob.
See you next time, man.